Welcome back, gamers, to another Legend of Korra commentary. In this video, I am finally looking at the possibility of a film adaptation of The Legend of Korra, and the continuation of the series, and possibly leading up to an earthbending avatar. Now, the development for the Legend of Korra film began in August of 2012 when Verity reported that Paramount Animation, a sister company of Nickelodeon, was starting development on several animated films with a $100 million budget. According to Verity, The Legend of Korra is a candidate for an animated film adaptation. Series creator Brian Corsico later wrote that no such film was in development. In July 2013, he said that he and DiMartino were far too busy on working on multiple seasons for the TV series in parlay to consider developing a film at that time. Now, at this point in time, this is only the sense of where that they are developing Book 3 and Book 4. And when they say multiple seasons, it means that they're continuing the film franchise. Well, let's put it like this. If there's to be a film for The Legend of Korra, there's bound to be a sequel to The Legend of Korra, if not further synchronization between both films and shows in this case. But in further state of mind, it's only to believe that certain adaptations of characters within the Avatar series would only be put in a certain state of mind. Now, the reason he said that is partially because he and his team were working on Book 3 and 4 at that time period. But up till now, they're not exactly saying anything about the film right now. Now, if the film itself is to be developed, say, 2015, it means that they'll give more thought pattern to the fact that they're going to probably finish Book 4 up to that point, and probably do Book 5 and continue on, and probably further on the series to a later, a fourth Avatar. Or rather, let me put it like this, a earthbending Avatar, as the cycle would continue with. Now, I'm only disagreeing with why Paramount Animation is focusing on their development of animated films is due to the fact that they believe that The Legend of Korra's animation movie would be put in a film adaptation and then later put on in a live action, which would be both a good and a bad thing due to the fact that there is a number of special effects, and since seeing the Godzilla movie this past year, it is we're at the cutting edge of where visual effects can take our movies at this point. So the whole point of a Korra animated film or a Korra live action film is a possibility, but not right now for him. Well, not in 2013. But considering what has happened between the series from its beginning up till now, the only advice I can say is that the whole point of The Legend of Korra is to further the advances of the Avatar series and to later bring about what is to become of the Avatar. Whether Korra will die or grow old and die, the whole point of the series is not clear, but at the same time, based on what we've seen in the last series, that The Legend of Korra has already showed much promise in the entire in its franchise. And as long as Nickelodeon is willing to continue to develop more episodes for The Legend of Korra, or if Cartoon Network will come underneath Nickelodeon and try and help them create Legend of Korra, either way, I can handle it. But listening to the fact that Brian and DiMartino are not focusing on a film adaptation of Legend of Korra is only a word of mouth at this point. But quite frankly, there are a lot of people who are considered for development in a live action film, including the actors themselves, who they believe is a serious step in the right direction, even though the character itself is to be put into a large consideration, especially with the largely controversial movie The Last Airbender, which featured a nearly all Caucasian cast. Now, that's understandable due to the fact that M. Night Shyamalan is of Israeli descent, I believe. Now, I'm not exactly sure the controversy was due to the fact that racism was the first thing thrown into the whole controversial part of it, but at the same time, it's only why M. Night Shyamalan would even consider doing that to the series, and whether or not he actually talked to Ryan Cortez and DiMartino about developing the film, which I believe, and they probably thought that the film was both disrespectful and racist, and they probably thought that, okay, this is not what I want to see my series turned into. So I guess hearing of a Korra movie would only be something of word of mouth, because okay, they're gonna probably think, okay, they're gonna probably make Korra Caucasian, and the rest of the characters are gonna be Caucasian. They're not gonna focus on anything out of the comic or the show, anything in particular they're gonna focus on. But you know, even if the series were to develop a film adaptation of any kind, whether it was live action or animated, the series itself deserves a continuation with a earthbending avatar and a adaptation of any type, if not a later on continuation, or a continuation of up to book 6, which is still pretty cool regardless of how you put it, which I'm still actually very excited about. But whatever anybody is willing to put up in this series, it's all about whether or not they can only put what is about the series. If the series is willing to take it to an adaptation, such as a film or a animated film, it's only a word of mouth, and whether the series creators are focusing on it right now is only an idea. But hey, whether it's going to be a live action or animated film for Korra, or is it going to be a continuation of the series into book 6, all I can say is that the series itself is worth it. And I hope that the series that we all have come to know and love for so many years will be able to produce such a high quality film. But anyway, guys, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.